everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie, Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Jessie.
Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Joining us tonight is Bobby Vivid, a TikTok star and professional piercer known for his louder-than-life media presence and engaging content. Bobby has captivated a huge audience with his bold style and vibrant personality. He isn't just about making noise, but making a statement and living life to the fullest with an unapologetic confidence. Buckle up as we explore the mind behind the ink and the steel. Hey!
I like that. It almost made me cry a little bit. Shit. That was cute. Hi. I'm Bobby. How you doing?
I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah?
How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm living. How are you?
Good.
Good. So let's jump right in. What inspired your first TikTok?
I guess the very first one, I don't know. I was just like normal stuff like everybody else. Like, you post your, like, if you go back to the very beginning of my account, I don't even know if they're up anymore, but it was just like Bailey showing me how to, like, it was actually Musically, and they carried over, and when I made my TikTok account, they went on TikTok, and I was like, that was like 10 years ago. But the actual story, like, we did that, but when I decided I was going to start making TikToks, was actually to bond with my daughter. I had recently just gone through a rough breakup where, I just left, and I mean, it wasn't like rough, but like, we'll get there. Everything is a little not rough these days, but looking back, but it was a rough breakup at the time for me, and that the woman was like a mom to Bailey because Bailey had moved in with us like 2 years prior, and like it was the three of us, and we were doing our thing. We ran an animal rescue, blah blah blah, and I left and I went and got my own place, but I was having trouble like connecting. Like, she was a 12, 13-year-old little girl, and I had zero idea how to bond with that kind of a child. And I mean, yeah, she was my kid, but like, when it's just one-on-one and there's no female presence, and it's like I'm running and getting tampons and pads and trying to have talks about women stuff.
Yeah.
I was at a loss, and so I was having trouble, and I was like, how do I bond with her? What are kids like these days? What's the big thing? And this is like pandemic 2020. TikTok was everything. So I was like, I'll start making TikToks with her. I was like, babe, let's make some TikToks, and we started doing that, and then we had a couple little ones, and I was like, ooh, and I enjoyed the excitement, and Bailey was all amped all the time. And yeah, and like the rest is history. And then we had a couple that like really took off, and the rest is pretty much history. So that was like the initial reason.
Since I've been on TikTok, and one of the ones that like stood out to me was you. Basically, it was you and Bailey. You guys were painting your nails, and you're like, and you were like basically saying like, if anybody has a problem with like me painting my nails, like, I don't care. And I just loved it.
Oh, that's I could dive in on that. I could tell you. I mean, I don't know where we want to start, what we want to talk about, but I can tell you the reason I am what I am today. Because that's a story. Okay, so right before this breakup happened, Bailey, we had a suicide attempt for Bailey. She was coming out of the closet and like was struggling with her sexuality and struggling with thinking that she wasn't going to be accepted by her family. And I was like, oh my goodness. So after we dealt with that, you know, I took her fishing and we were down the creek and I was like, babe, like what's what was that about? Like I need to know for like my I need something out of it. I'm at a loss. I don't know what's going on in the world and I need to know something. And like we had a big conversation about it, about her coming out and like her sexuality, and she didn't know if she was gay or bi or whatever. Like she and I was like, it doesn't matter, babe. Like love who you want to love. And then we talked about school and her getting bullied at school, and she said, I'm just scared. I'm scared to be like out there and like people make fun of me about my hair and my this and my that. And she was already kind of mildly doing like the hair and the, you know, she was still
Mhm.
really reserved. And I looked at her, I said, kid, I said, all you have to do is be yourself. Be yourself, and everybody is going to love you more for that. And this little shit, oh, she looked at me dead in my face and said, why? You don't. And it struck me so hard, knife to the chest. I'm done. I'm dead right there on the bank of that creek. I'm like, I started crying. I was like, well, I will make you a deal. You be your 100% authentic self, and I will do my best to be the same. So we grew into this together. And she taught me to be me.
That's so
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
but yeah, prior to that, I was just your average like construction worker. Like I would not paint my nails. My hair was just normal. It was just very shit. Uh but I was just your average blue collar dude. And like, I made a promise to her that day and I will forever continue to hold that promise. So that's that's where Bobby Vivid was born and Bob Beach kind of died.
So you guys have always like with the hair color and everything else, what was the first like color that you guys went with and kind of broke out with?
Well, she was always into the purple. Um, she was doing a lot of purple and red, and I don't know. It depended on the day with her. I don't remember the first thing she did. I know the first one I did was just a bleach blonde. Like I just did half bleach blonde because it was like when everybody was starting to split dye,
Yeah.
and I just was like, okay, I'll try it. I'll try it because I'm still waking up to this. You know what I mean? I'm still like trying to like come out myself like as like me, and um yeah. So I did the bleach blonde, and then I went to teal was the first color that was actually in my hair, and then then it was a rabbit hole. I don't know. I went teal, then I went pink. I was this for a little while, and I really loved this one because I had started with the like boys wear pink, and I did it for it was September, like breast cancer awareness month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I did it on my TikTok for that, and it kind of stuck. And then I got into that other relationship, and then it was matching hair for a year or so, and I went through every color of the rainbow.
It's
So yeah,
fun.
yeah,
So
and
I
now
know you probably have like 6 stories that come to mind,
uh-huh.
but what would you say has been the most unexpected reaction or encounter with one of your fans?
uh, all right, I'll probably say it the first time I realized I was like famous, I guess. I was at I got one of my friends. Well, she's my friend now. She wasn't. I met her. This is how I met her, and she had reached out because it was Bailey's birthday. MGK was coming to town, and um, uh, Bailey had put a video out asking certain bands to like give her a happy birthday, and this woman reached out and was like, she said, I can't give you that, but I can get you tickets to MGK in Pittsburgh this month. And I was like, sweet. And that was really cool. So we went to see MGK, and I went there, and we're in the pit, we're watching the thing. His guitarist Sophie starts waving at me and like pointing at me, and she's like, I'm like, who is this person? I don't know this person. And that was cool. So I figured out later she had DM'd me. She had been following me for a hot minute. So like I'm like, oh my goodness, this famous person's following me and shit. But we're down in the pit. That's all besides. That's part of it. Like that's part of it. It was this day that I was like, huh, this is weird. But I was standing there, and I was talking to some of the stage people, and then I started talking to another person, and I turned around, and I shit you not, there was a line of 20 people. And I'm like, what the fuck what are all these people doing? And I thought they were like, I thought they thought I was in line for something. I turned around, and they're like, can we get pictures? And I'm like, oh my God. And it just like went crazy. I was like, and it was just picture, and people had me sign and stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm just a dude online that makes videos of my kid.
I'd be like, pictures with me? Like, whenever people are
Yeah,
like...
I did. I was like, yeah.
I'm like, with me?
I mean, it wasn't the first time it had happened, but it was the first time that it happened on a scale like that. And now, like, I go to a lot of concerts and stuff around here. I know when it's going to happen. I know what concerts to go, what concerts to go to that, like, it happens. Like, every time. And it's like MGK, Fallen in Reverse, what's at the end of the month? What's those guys' names? What's their name? Suicide Boys. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like those have been like the big ones. Like anytime Ice Nine Kills, I don't. No, I don't go to Ice Nine Kills shows. I don't like it. I go. I'm dragged. I don't want to go. But I didn't mean to say that. That was too much. I had diarrhea in the mouth there for a second.
You're good. Diarrhea
in
the mouth like once a week on this podcast.
I do it all the time. I get like a little bit nervous or I get excited, and then I just like,
yeah,
it just all comes out. So yeah, I don't.
Well, one of the things I absolutely love about you is the way that you handle haters versus just your followers. And some of the comments, like, I mean, I could go on there and sometimes I just go on and read the comments, and it's hysterical. And I love the way that if somebody says something that's just totally out of pocket and just like out of nowhere, I love that you'll repost it and kind of like talk about it. And you have like a whole discussion about it. What is one of the things that stands out in your head that someone's just like commented out of nowhere that you had one of your little discussions about that ended up like blowing up?
When people used to ask me if my daughter was my girlfriend, that would happen all the time. We made a whole video about it. Dude, that video I did one little video about it, and it got like 30 million views or some shit. I was like, okay. Like that was that, and then I don't know. I've had a few recently, but they're they're out there. Just there's all kinds of rumors about me. You Google me, it's not fun. Look me up on Reddit. It's crazy.
That's our next question.
It's crazy.
What's the best rumor that you've heard about yourself?
The biggest one, it's kind of dark. And we really haven't got there yet. But my daughter passed, and there is a rumor going around that I made an OF video on her gravesite. I heard that, or her ashes, or some with her ashes, and I was like,
I don't know how people come up with like stuff like that. Like I'm just like the shit that people like who it's the stuff like who started the rumor that Marilyn Manson can suck his own dick? Like who starts it? Like who has the original thought that's like that far out there?
They're very
Well,
creative, especially on
well,
TikTok.
yeah, and then on TikTok, like, somebody's mad at you, and you're like, yeah, that happened. I was there, and then it's like,
Where was I?
Where was I?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of know where it stemmed from,
Mhm.
but they got it wrong. Like, it's wrong. Like, I'm like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Because, like, there was a spot that, like, I had, like, thrown her ashes over the city, and it was, like, over the city. It had nothing to do with the spot. It was just, like, over the city. And it was, like, a teaspoon. And I, in another area that is very similar, I did make a video. And then somebody's like, oh, the Pittsburgh skyline's in the background. And I'm like, there's a lot of areas, 360 degrees of areas that the skyline is in the background.
Yeah.
They do really dissect your
Just
videos,
saying.
though.
Oh, people.
Like, how is it? How is it to go through something, especially like the tragedy with your daughter? How is that going through that so publicly?
Honestly, it was amazing. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be here today, if we're being absolutely for real. Because, like, just the knowing the amount of people watching me and the amount of people that were, like, reaching out and offering support, and, like, I'm seeing how many people not only my daughter has touched. Like, I was getting, like, the preemptive, like, okay, these people have already lost one influence in their life, and I can't do that. And I know it sounds weird, and it might sound a little pompous, but like I was like, I need it. I need it. I need it on this world. Like, and then I could just think about, like, Bailey, like, kicking my ass, like, what the hell are you doing up here? Get down here, blah 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 blah. And, like, I revert to that pretty often. And then yeah. So like that was like, uh, it's weird having so much of your life under public scrutiny, but in some instances, it's a plus. So
I think that people that can handle that are tough as nails. The people who can, I think that people think it's easy to just blow up online and be a like influencer or like a media personality.
yeah,
And I feel like, but I feel like people underestimate how hard it is, especially mentally, to have that many people like dissecting everything you do. It's incredibly exhausting. Um, especially when you blow up very quickly because the it's like just like so quickly I feel like your brain can't catch up a lot of the time. So um I feel like there are so many hard jobs out there, but I do feel like doing social media, especially like the people who make it a job, it is something like I personally have a lot of respect for them, because I did that for a while and it kicked my ass, like, because I'm not a person who can ignore comments,
right.
and to not let it affect you. I think it takes a certain kind of person with a really strong constitution and to like be able to handle a job like that. So I have a lot of respect for you for that.
Thank you.
I love that you just said it
I
like
never,
that.
yeah, that was very, I've never heard that like that before, and I respect it. Thank you. But the way I look at it, comments are like apples, man. Yeah, you start getting 100,000, 10,000 comments on your videos. There's bound to be a couple with some worms, man. Like, there's bound to be. So if I can keep that, like, percentage down below like 10%,
Yeah.
then I'm okay. I can ignore it. But like there are moments where things happen, these rumors start. Like you guys know I'm going through like a false allegation suit right now. At the beginning of that, when that first started, because everybody was like, women says this, it must be true. And you're delivered a very out of pocket, without context picture of a situation, and I was scared to leave my house. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was closer to killing myself that day, May 10th, than I had been before. Like, because I was, like I said, these people, these comments, like, what has gotten me through a lot of this is like the support from my community that I've created. Like, I've worked hard to create a reputation and a name for myself. I've worked damn hard. And I am such an advocate and a fighter for all things that are like not that. And for that tag to be hung on me, it crushed me and like just basically ripped my soul out of me. Like like I know it's
I give you a lot of credit though for not speaking out, because I
yeah.
know that that was probably hard to sit back and see
Well,
that unfold, especially when the other person is so known.
vocal.
Yes. And I felt your pain that you were going through that, and I give you credit for not speaking
Yeah.
out, because it's hard when someone's coming at you about something and you can't really say what the true
Yeah.
story is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just said it was false, and I know the true story, and uh, like it's slowly trickling out in the wash, but these things take time because the American judicial system is fucking horrible, and women are allowed to do whatever they want. And I don't mean that as a women hate thing. I love women. That is a judicial system thing. There should be laws against. I truly think there should be laws against people making false allegations like that, and they should have harsh penalties rather than. Oh, okay. It's like because like at the end of this, when everything is deemed not true, then what? The damage is done. And there's gonna be a ton of people out there that still don't believe because it's American media and that's what happens. So it's not like I'm gonna gain the 100,000 people I lost on TikTok back. It's not gonna gain these 30,000 people I lost on Instagram. It's not gonna like none of this. It's not gonna bring back my deals and the money that I've lost and the job that I got fired from because of this situation. Like it's not gonna bring any of that back. But I will have peace of mind. And I mean, it is what it is.
Do you think that you will move forward with defamation and all that, or
Oh, that's already happening.
okay?
That is why I can't speak in detail about it.
No,
I
that's
can
fine.
speak what is out there right now, where she has been deemed incredible or not incredible.
Incredible.
She's definitely not incredible.
Mm.
Uncreditable, incredible. What was the word you said, Jess?
Incredible.
Yeah, I could look
There
it
we
up because
go.
it's
I
in a
killed
court
it on
document.
That's such an awkward word, incredible.
And incredible. Anyway, but like, and it was already deemed that a lot of these were lies. So it's more of, yeah, we're just keeping going.
From an outsider's point of view, I definitely feel that a lot of people, because of how big you are on TikTok and on the social media and a media personality, I feel like a lot of people jumped on board and kind of tried to take advantage of the situation.
Oh, absolutely. There's people that are saying things that I don't. They're like, I knew him in real life, and he's such a creep. I'm like, dude, I have no idea who you are. I've never met you. I like one person that was like going to bat for them was a woman that I had 3 phone conversations with, like in 2020, and then I was like, this chick's kind of weird, so I just kind of like let that go, and now she's out here like he's like this with everybody. Hi, did it. I'm like, dude, I've never even met you.
Well, that gets us to our next thing. You're our first guest that has like multiple people catfishing him. And like
Catfishing
you
me?
post videos, and like I've never seen someone have that many people,
Oh, you're using your photos?
yeah, pretending to be you.
Oh, that shit's weird and annoying.
What
How do you
platform
handle
are they
that?
doing? Is
Like,
it like Instagram or is it people using
no, on
Twitter?
TikTok, he has like
Oh
5
no,
accounts
it's
pretending to be him.
it's literally everywhere. Twitters, or X accounts, Facebook accounts. There's freaking Tinder profiles out there. There's Bumble profiles out there. There's Instagrams that aren't
Like,
mine. Now
how
that
far do these people take it?
as far as they possibly can.
Are they like making up like fake families or like trying to are they using Bobby Vivid or are they like making up
No, they are
names?
Bobby Vivid. They think they
Yeah,
are
they're
Bobby Vivid, and
faking
it's
his whole
some
life.
guy in Nigeria.
Oh,
And they'll have whole conversations with people, and then they're like, buy this hoodie to support my daughter. And I'm like, it's been 2 years. I quit selling hoodies, and I never even sold hoodies.
yeah.
There was a company I was working with that was selling hoodies, and like I don't like these people like took the picture off of the website, and then they're like sending it to these people, and they're like, PayPal me $50, and I'll send you this hoodie. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Too
So
smart.
yeah, I taught, and they go as far as like they found me on Snapchat. These fake profiles, they have found me on Snapchat, and they'll add me, and they'll act like they are a fan. And sometimes I respond to like fans and
Yeah.
stuff on my Snapchat when they find me. They send me something, I'll respond, and they'll screen record or they record with like another. I don't know how they do it because it doesn't tell me they screen record. But I had somebody send me something right after, like they were getting like catfished by me, like, and I was like, that wasn't me. I mean, I didn't send that to you. Like, how did you get that video? That was a video I sent a little bit ago. And
That's crazy.
yeah, it was like, because I don't know what they're doing. And I don't understand. I don't understand how it's 2024 and people are still falling for this shit.
I know after it was a whole TV show and movie and like we all know how to reverse image search now.
Well, I make these videos and post about, hey, this is my account. My accounts are this, this, and this. And like people still aren't getting it. And then it's just so weird. I don't understand it.
That's gotta be hard too, because I know that like I've had friends that have had like an instant where they just like somebody has taken one picture and used it. And like they have a hard time even getting that one picture taken off. These people are like pretending to be you, like stealing your like whole like life or like what's online. Like
And
that's gotta be
I report these profiles and they don't do anything. They don't do nothing.
How many do you know of that are up?
How many? Oh, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
like on TikTok.
There's like two or three. There's like 2 or 3 made a day, and it's been 2 or 3 years. So there's hundreds. There, like if you just start to type in my name, I mean, go into your followers. Like go into your followers. I guarantee you, there's a fake Bobby. Or if there's not, comment on a video, and you'll get one.
That's wild.
I look for the ones that you have the blue check, because I don't have a blue check. What?
I've never had a blue check. They won't give me one because I used to do sex work.
When I went on your TikTok, like when I like look it up, like when I'm tagging you,
Yeah.
2 of them do have a blue check next to them. Because I was like,
Well, then I don't know about
blue
these.
check.
They ain't me. If they got a verified account with my name on, I'm gonna be pissed. But like one of the big things is like these guys that these fake accounts, they're all spelled wrong. They all have like extra V's or extra I's or extra B's. I'm like, I don't misspell my own name, guys. Like what are you thinking? Anybody that's watching this, they're all at the bottom. I see them scrolling by. Those are the real ones.
So
So,
since you started off with making the videos with Bailey, moving to now, how do you come up with your content now?
I'm gonna tell you what. This past year and a half, uh, has been incredibly difficult. Um, and I've almost quit a few times, and then I've distracted myself, and then I was just making stupid videos. Like I don't know. To me, they're stupid. They you know they don't have any meaning. They don't have any like thought behind them. It was just like bullshit. Like only getting views because I have people. I don't know. Like that trickle effect. But I kind of lost myself. I didn't know what my content was going to be. I didn't know I was on Parent Talk. Like I was a single dad on TikTok. That was my shtick. And then I did the sex work, but then I quit sex work, and then I so then all of this happening, I had no idea who I was anymore. Like I'm like, what do I talk about? Like, what is my content? And then I went through this breakup, this really bad, this fucking horrible breakup, and I'm finally now at a place where I feel like I'm making like good solid content again and content with meaning and like I see it like it's not doing as good as it used to. Like I'm not getting 150 45,000 views like on every video, but like I'm not making it for that. I'm making it to help that one person. That one person. If I can help you get through today and see it, because I get it all the time. I needed this. I needed this. I needed to see this video today. This helped me. And that's what I'm doing it for. For that one person. That one person that's like, on their worst day and they're down on their luck and they're not feeling the greatest and they're struggling with like similar things that I've struggled with grief and loss and just hating your life and just feeling like you're stuck. And they see my video and it's like and it's just something like, hey, fucking fix it, and they're like, dude, like I just needed somebody to tell me that. So if one person on a video sees something and feels that way, then I'm good. I don't do this shit for money. I'm here to help. And that's all I've ever wanted to do in my life is help people. And I've always been a person that will give my shirt off my back to help somebody. And this is the way that I'm coming through with that. I don't know if you've seen any of the new stuff I've posted, but like the stuff that's been going on the past like 2 weeks, like I feel accomplished with it. So it's some of my better content. So, in my opinion.
Yeah, and in between all that, I want to take a second to say I'm so sorry about your loss with Abby.
Thank you. Yeah, that one.
I know that was hard, and my heart totally goes out to you.
That one
But
was,
I mean, you've been just I feel like you've been just having fun with it. I mean, like you've done so many like big things in the last couple weeks, like even with like everything that you did with the teeth. Like, I know that I always like see people with the bright white teeth, and I'm like, damn, like I want that smile. Like you
I,
went through with it, went under all that, documented the whole thing on TikTok.
hell yeah. I'm not just
How
gonna
was
show
that
up.
experience going through that? Because I know like so many people are like, well, what goes into that? How long were you under? Like, you have so many questions. What was it like?
Uh, painful, but worth it every painful and very expensive, but worth every penny. Um, I went through a company, a little plug for them, that is Pierce Dental in Cincinnati, Ohio. Pierce Dental Group, I think it's called. But if you Google Pierce, they come up. They're amazing. I highly recommend them. But I went in, they knocked me out. I woke up into like a twilight while they bolted my teeth in, and because they had to I had to be awake so I could bite and stuff. And like by then I don't, I vaguely remember. I only know that I was awake because I was recording it. Like I kept grabbing, like they said as soon as I came out of sedation, my phone was out of my pocket and I was recording. I was like, okay, well I'm doing like we made a little bit of a deal. So and I just believe in like showing every aspect. I know some people just like to like they disappear off social media for a while and then they come back and they have new teeth. And it's like, oh yeah, you don't look like you. I didn't give anybody the chance to make assumptions. I was like, hey, I got bolted in teeth now. Thank you.
You know
But it
what
was
though? I've
always my
noticed
biggest.
you've been smiling so much
Hell
lately.
yeah! Like how can you not look with a smile like this? It's always been my biggest insecurity. And if you look at all my old videos, right, people are always telling me since I've gotten them done, they keep telling me about like how much more I smile, and they're like, oh, your teeth weren't that bad, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, well look at the pictures, like the before and afters, and like where I am actually giving like a big real smile in the pictures on my page. Um, to show like the difference because I was just very conscious of like self-conscious about my teeth. Like even when I was smiling, you look at my old smiles, I can't even do it anymore. Like it was like I like half smile, like I just thought like a little. I can't do it. And I'd always cock my head. Like you look at videos and pictures, anytime my teeth were showing, I was just like I was kind of hiding them a little bit. And like this was such a confidence booster. I was supposed to get them done back in February, but things happened, and I was like, I can't do this right now. And then finally, when things started like going crazy, I was like, you know what? I'm taking my life back, and that's really what this all came down to. Is I was like, and I if anybody can get this from seeing this, like you can take your life back at any point. There is no excuse. You can wake up one day and just say, I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit. This is my story. This is my life, and I'm gonna tell the story. And I did that about a month ago, 2 months ago. Got my teeth. It was like right after I got my teeth done. It gave me a little bit of a self confidence boost, I guess. And then I opened my shop. I did that all in silence while all of this bullshit was going on, and I was kind of quiet on the internet because I was like, this is gonna fall out. There's things are gonna come out in the wash, and like I'm not an abuser and I'm not a woman beater, so like everybody knows that, and it's gonna come out, and like I just woke up and I was like, I'm taking my life back now, thanks, and just
Now,
started doing
before
things
we get
differently.
into what you're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
you always go on about how you've worked like every job
Oh
and that
yeah,
you've worked some very festive jobs.
oh yeah.
Can you let us know so that all the people that are working those jobs that
Jobs
you've
they
worked
hate.
through the years, that one day they could be where you are?
Oh,
Let's hear them.
absolutely. You want to go through
What's the dirtiest job you've had?
It depends on how what you call dirty. I mean, I did do porn for a while, so like I mean that's pretty dirty. But oh man, I cleaned
Was that part of the Vivid in your name?
What?
Because like Vivid Entertainment, like
No, that has nothing to do with anything.
porn and vibrance.
No, that had nothing to do with anything. My name actually was an accident, and it came from when I was in school for auto body work. That was a pretty dirty job, and uh, I,
So he did not
I
get Bobby Vivid from porn.
no, I had to come up with a name for a chop shop for like a mechanics like a garage, and like because we had to like build a business plan around a garage because I was in school for business management, and I had to build this garage, and I was like, Vivid's a cool name, so I made that, and then I graduated and I threw that shit in a binder, and like that was it, and then I started my construction company, and if you look at my TikTok handle, Bobby V Vivid, that that's supposed to be a tag for my construction company. Like my construction company was Vivid Designs and Home Improvement, and that's why that's the one that says Bobby V Vivid, because Bobby V is me, Vivid was my company, and then people just started calling me Bobby Vivid, and I was like, that's cool, I like it, and I ran with it. Now it's like that's my name, like my real last name is Beats, but like you ain't finding that nowhere. Like I
I was
mean,
assuming it was either because of the hair color or the
Yeah,
porn.
I thought it was the hair color too.
it just turned into that's where it came from, but it turned into, I feel like the Vivid name, like I feel
It's
like
all encompassing.
yeah, and it's turned into a kind of a mission, like that I like, it's my message. Like we have this like the live vividly, like that became like that's a big hashtag out there, and like that was like me and Bailey's thing. We were because we would tell people and talk to people about just being yourself and being true and being out there and being bright and being like, it doesn't matter who you are, like what walk of life you're in, like you can do great things and you can be yourself and it's okay. So like yeah, like Vivid means a lot to me now. Like it really does.
It's like the
But yeah,
perfect name for you.
It is.
I feel like it is. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, that's Bobby Vivid. Like Bob Beach, like that's what I said, like Bob, like my old, like I kind of died when we made that pact, and um here we are, and now I'm Bobby Vivid and she is Bailey Vivid, and like I'll never change it. I have it tattooed on me like 17,000 times. Like I
So
am
how did you
Vivid.
go from construction and were you in the Navy?
I was in the Navy. Yeah, I was in. All right,
Like,
all right. Let's rewind.
yeah, we need to
Rewind.
hear it all.
When I was in school, I only ever wanted to be in the Air Force. That's all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to be in the Air Force since 2001, and uh, that was all I ever planned on. And I worked all the typical high school jobs. I shoveled snow. I did like everything you could possibly think of as a high school student. Worked in restaurants. Worked in fast food. Delivered pizza, made pizza, all the things. And then I went to the Navy. Well, I was trying to join the Air Force. I should say I was trying to join the Air Force, and at the time they didn't accept parents. Like if you were a parent, you had to sign your rights over, and I was like, "Fuck no, that ain't never gonna happen."
Mhm.
And I, I actually took a year off from high school and was just working, and I was just being a dad, and then it got to me. I was like, I need to be in the military, and this is like 2006 time period, 2006, 2007. Height of the Iraqi War and all that other fun stuff. And I was like, I'm going away parties every other week, and I was like, I need to leave, and I don't care what branch I go to. I was at a party, and I was drunk as a skunk, and me and my buddy were, and we're like, well, let's go join today. It's like 6 in the morning. And we rolled into the recruiter's office at 8 a.m., drunk as piss. And we're like, we sat outside because nobody was there. We got there before they got there. And then Navy was the first guys in the office. So we joined the Navy that day. Well, he sent us home, told us to sober up, and then we could come back. But and then I was gone 2 weeks later. So
Wow.
and I
So
was
how
there
did you go from that to what you're currently doing, which is piercing?
Okay, so I went from that. I got into cars. I was doing cars before I went to the Navy, and then I was a mechanic before. And then I got out, and I was like, I know how to make cars run. I want to know how to make them pretty. So I went to school for that, and then got out of that. Was like, I there's no money in this. I got out of school, went and worked my first job, making like $10 an hour, and I was like, I went to school for this. Why am I making no money? And I realized very quickly, like, the only way to make money is to do shit for yourself. And I rolled out, and I ended up, my buddy had a thing in, he was in the carpenters union, and he was in the carpenters union. He told me about it, got me in. I worked there for like 2 years. I moved. So then I left the union. I started building houses up and down the East Coast. I did like modular building.
Mm-hmm.
Like I built modular homes, and then we were setting homes on like stakes all around New Jersey and stuff, like during like the hurricanes and all that crap. And so I did that for a while, came back, and then I was working for this maintenance guy, this slumlord. That was probably the grossest job I had, because I was going into these like really nasty, dilapidated houses, like scraping like 6 months of dog shit off a floor to like clean it.
Oh, the worst is cat piss.
Yeah.
Like the smell of cat piss. I remember when I was little, my mom would take me to this like, it was like an antique barn, and the whole place would smell like cat piss. And I'm like, why are we here? Like, why would you ever want any of this stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would break. I don't think I could do that.
I did it for a while. I did that for a solid like year, 2 maybe. And then I got laid off, and I was like, man, I know how to build houses. I know how to work. And my girlfriend at the time, I was on unemployment for a little while, and then she was like giving me shit. There was like I did build kitchens and baths for a guy after that, and then he laid me off. The kitchen and bath guy laid me off, and I was like, I got a good mind for business.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm doing with a hammer and a saw, and I can do this. And I'm sitting there, but I was just being lazy and didn't want to work, just collecting unemployment check. My girlfriend yelled at me, and she's like, you need to get off your ass and go do something. Sitting in this house. I was only off for like a month, and I was like, I'm going to start my own company. And I started it as a joke to shut her up. But then I made it a company, and then I was a multi-million-dollar company. So until I still had it, and then I was in that. I was like, I started doing like, I got into social media really heavy, and then I started doing like the OF stuff, and I started doing the porn stuff, and I was in a relationship with a woman across the country, so I was like flying back and forth every week. So like, I wasn't around to work. I had like 3 crews working for me, so I passed it. I tried to pass my company to my friend, and I was like, hey, you got a good handle on what's going on. Like, you run it, give me 10%, and this is your company, basically. And here's all the things you need, all the tools, all of the things you need to run this company. Dude, like, ran my company to the ground in 2 weeks.
I was just gonna say, how long? How long did it take them to?
2 weeks. 2 weeks to crush 7 years of work, like hard work, like owning a business like that. That's an all-day thing. You are working all day, like doing the physical labor. Then at night you're doing quotes. In the early morning you're running around trying to find the next job. Like, this is 17, 18 hours a day I'm working for 7 years. And dude destroyed it in 2 weeks. I will never speak to that man again. And if I do, God help him, he's gonna need to go see Dr. Pierce. I like, he's tried to talk to me a few times. Yeah, Johnny, you. You're getting knocked out. Oh,
Lasted
but yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
He kind of
2
should be
weeks,
called out. 2 weeks.
and
Come
and
on.
and he talked all of my employees. He got in their ear and like, Bob's just gonna screw us all over. Bob's just gonna screw us all over. Bob's just gonna screw us all over. He's gonna leave us. I'm like, dude, I'm literally giving you my company. If anybody's screwing anybody over, it's going to be you. I'm giving you everything you need. And yeah, so that got ruined. And
So did you jump from doing the construction thing and is
then I went full time social media for a while, and I
I
got
can
bored.
understand that. Even like I try to post content, like I was doing really good. I was like consistent for a month, posting 3 times a day, and then I just dropped the ball for a couple days, and then I was like, "Damn!" Like I lost that many followers because I didn't post like a couple days.
Well, I feel like a lot of it is building upon each other, and like people would talk about like, oh, they use me, they use me, they use me. Newsflash! It's social media. Everybody uses everybody. The idea comes in when it stops being a mutually beneficial thing. That's when using becomes a thing. Like that's when you can say somebody is using you. But if you're like, you were nobody before I met you. Yes, I was. My people knew who I was. Your people didn't. But that's why using is a thing. Like the last one used the fuck out of me.
I did that thing where you wake up to 50,000 followers and then you're like, all right, well now I am having a panic attack and now this app is no longer fun for me.
I did that on a video.
Mhm.
275,000
Yeah,
followers
I was like,
overnight.
I was like, I don't.
Overnight.
Yeah, that's where I was like, all right, I'm scared now. So that was fun.
But now I like it's become so ingrained.
Yeah.
It's just a part of my life now. So like
Mhm.
I couldn't see myself off of social media. I couldn't like even bands that everybody talks about TikTok band. Like I'll go to another platform
Yeah.
and I'll work there. And you know what? If that one goes away, I'll go to another platform. I'm gonna do this. Like I don't think once you establish a name for yourself on social media, I don't think you ever go away. I don't
Yeah.
think you ever like until you're like dead. I don't know.
So
What would be your fallback social media if you weren't on TikTok?
Huh?
What would be your fallback social media if you weren't on TikTok?
Instagram. As at the moment, I don't do much on YouTube. I'm going to though. I'm going to. So I'm glad you put that on there because like I have lots of things in the works right now.
that's good.
Lots of things in the works right now. Uh,
Can you give us any tidbits that fans can
mm,
anticipate?
no, I don't know if it's gonna be like super crazy. Like I am writing a book.
Mhm.
So that's one thing.
Oh, congrats.
I am writing a book about like grief and loss and stuff, like taking everything I've learned and trying to give people some sort of like rather than this super scientific or super religious based like grief guidance counseling moment. Like it's just like a hey, I made a lot of mistakes in my grief journey. Here's what they are.
Mhm.
Don't do them. And I feel like it's going to be more of like a one-on-one, kind of vibe. And I think I'm going to end up, I'm going to chase this like grief and like mental health aspect of what I'm doing right now. And I feel like that's a pretty, that's the way I'm taking my content. Back to that first question. That's where I'm taking my content is to more of a mental health awareness, but still fun. But still fun. I'm still me. I'm still Bobby Vivid. I'm still like I'm trying to mix it up because like I have all these ideas in my head for content. I'm just like blasting them, and then I forget like I need to do like a stupid dance here and there, or I need to do like a trend, or I need to do something silly because I as much as I don't want to be always remembered as the daughter of the dead kid. I that is I was just talking with my therapist today about it. I like I'm so scared that that is going to become my personality. I feel like so many people in these roles on social media,
Yeah.
they stand up for something or they do something, and it becomes their entire personality. Is like like I don't know, like the advocates, any advocate, they're all the worst because like it's like, oh, I'm a woman's advocate and I hate all men, or I'm a men's advocate and you know what, every woman is an asshole, or and like I hate watching that. Like, and you can see the turn. They have one video that like takes off on that aspect, and then you could see their entire content shift. Like I've been doing this for 4 years now. I've seen people like they just make this twist and they turn into this like ugly thing. Like where I was like, man, you used to be cool. Now all you do is talk about this bullshit.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
kind
what
of
happened to like your
that's kind
cool
of where
stuff?
I get into it when
And
I'm making content. Like when I'm doing the
mhm.
content creator thing, like I'll get kind of bored. Like I kind of feel like they're all kind of starting to look alike. I know I've got a
Yeah,
post,
and
but
I
I'm
don't,
like,
I don't,
I don't know.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, we don't
You
want to
seem
do
to keep
that.
yours pretty
I try to keep it
flowing.
balanced. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even the
that's not.
songs, like TX2, We Love You. Hopefully one day we can get them on the show. Shabuzi. Like, how was that? You were right up front for that.
It was great. It was great. I listened to Butter Song 4 times in a row that night. It was very weird. It's like, how did you perform the same song 4 times in a row?
That's
But
why.
I mean, that's your biggest hit. Go for it. Do what you do,
You know what? It
man.
does play a lot at the bar. And my only thing is, every time it comes on, like, I know the words and I'm happy and it, like, I flow with it.
Yeah, I meant he performed it 4 times in a row.
That's crazy.
Like it was like you were
Did he
sitting
at
at the
least, like,
bar.
switch up the way he sang it?
He,
Or was it the
if
same?
you mean he got drunker as he went on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Uh,
I can't say anything for myself because I listened to Ace of Spades by Motorhead today like 5 times, and I was like, "There's something deeply wrong with me."
I
The hell out of a song.
I do it too. I do it too. But I mean, it's
Crazy.
what. But like, this is supposed to be like a show.
This is a live
This
show.
is a live event.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I this 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 social media thing, this creature that I've created, has put me in some of the weirdest positions and places that I've never thought of. Like I got invited to Houston to hang out with MGK,
That's
and that was like that was why I got invited to Cleveland. Me and Bailey got invited to Cleveland, then she passed, and then they invited me to Houston. And I was like, this is very weird, but okay. Why am I here? I'm standing backstage. I'm in the green room with everybody. I'm like, everybody's a musician. And I'm like, I'm just a random social media guy, but I feel weird if I pull out my phone
I get it. I
because
get it.
I don't want to be that guy. But like, this is like you guys are singing and stuff, and this is my job. But
Um,
I probably could have done a lot more with it, but I did not.
you have a page for your piercing,
Yes,
separate.
yes, that is vivid underscore body art, and vivid body art on TikTok as well. Um, they because they're now starting to make fake accounts of those too, which is
Really?
really annoying, and I don't understand it. I'm like, so I just keep it down. I don't follow anybody on them. I follow myself. So that's like my thing. I'm like, anybody that finds the page,
Mm-hmm.
if it's following anybody else other than myself, it's not me.
Were you
So
a tattoo artist at one point?
I am now.
Well, because the one page that said that you were
Yeah.
like doing tattoos, and I got confused because
No, I pierce
I
and
know that you
tattoo.
had a lot, but I didn't really see you doing them on TikTok, so I wasn't sure what you were doing with
No,
them.
I pierce and tattoo now. Like I'm not like
He's
I
doing it all.
I'm doing it all, but it's more I'm not I don't like calling myself a tattoo artist. I'm a tattooer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it on you. I like I can't like my brain doesn't like come up with these things. I manipulate pictures and I take pictures and like rearrange them and make them my own and like twist them and redraw them. But like you tell me to like draw this thing off the top of my
Not
head,
gonna
like
draw your
just
mom.
like here's a pen and paper, and
Yeah.
I can't come up with anything.
For body piercing, like obviously I love piercings.
I see it. What you got there? What is that? An 8?
Nah, oh boy, we haven't been an 8 for a minute.
Hold
This
on,
is
I can't see.
it's a
Oh damn!
yeah, she's really big. She
What is
is.
that? 2.
It's I think it's technically a 4.
Okay.
I'm at the point where you like the weight stretches it at this point because I wear the
That
heavy
massive.
jewelry.
Dude, I feel like I just rode into like an NFL locker room with my pants off
Yeah,
with
it
this guy.
is. Yeah,
My little guy.
little
And
guy.
you're just hanging out there with this like
It's a
python.
It's a
Everyone, every time someone tells her it, like they're like, "Oh, that's too big," she goes out and gets a bigger.
bigger one. Yeah. So
Do you have to have the spacers yet in the back?
no, I don't. I don't even know what that is. So I actually was very ignorant. I've been gauging my nose for like a decade, pretty much. I did it the right way. So
Yeah.
you're proud of me with that one, because a lot of people cram them.
Yeah.
So my body piercer didn't told me something that I was completely ignorant to, and that's why I say if you want to get this big, go to your body piercer.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of information you won't find, and that's your 2 front teeth hurt once you start get to the heavier weights.
It starts pressing down on that nerve.
Nobody told me that.
Mm-hmm.
I got to my body piercer, and they were like, he was like, "Oh, by the way, your front teeth are gonna hurt." If I didn't go to my piercer for that, I probably would have had a fucking panic attack if nobody told me that, because that is not information that you ever hear. Like, I understand it's like a niche, like stretch septum is like a niche, but it's just such like I have tons of friends with stretch septums. Not a single one of them warned me about that, and only my body piercer. I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, you want to go any bigger, you're gonna have this issue for about a week." Because if I had done that myself, I would have fucking like been like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening to me."
I've heard of that happening. Well, the spacers I was talking about. Eventually, you're gonna need, like, if you keep going.
Yeah.
They make jewelry with spacers connected to it, so
Really?
that your nose stays open so you can breathe.
Wow. Okay.
Because like you're filling your nose up with this metal, you're closing your airway.
Always really interested because I've seen people go to like the 000, and I was like, how are they? I'm barely getting in here to pick my nose. I was like, I don't know what they're doing. But
that's also, you see a lot of the guys with the big with like really big ones, and then they end up punching their nostrils
out. I seen that.
Yeah.
I actually really liked nostrils. And
I don't do that yet, but I want to look. I need to find a heavy, like, I want to do heavier body mods. Like, I want to snip and stitch. But finding somebody to actually teach me has become a
it's such, I love,
it's so niche, and
it's so niche,
and it's gate kept.
All my friends, I have a lot of friends with split tongues, and they all go to Brian Decker.
Yeah.
They've all gone to Brian Decker to get their tongues done. And like my boyfriend even
Is he the one that's in LA, or is he the one that's in Florida?
He's in New York.
Oh, the New York. Okay, because there's a guy in LA, there's a guy in New York, there's a guy in Miami, I think. There's like 2 around here. Like one's here, one's in Ohio, and like in Pennsylvania somewhere, and then the other's in Ohio.
As a body piercer and somebody who's into body modifications, you must see some weird shit. I think the weirdest thing that I've seen is the split penis. Those are like alien. Like
That's a
those
thing.
I'm like,
I don't understand them. How do they work?
I don't know how it works. I don't know how they do it. It looks like, Allie, if you've never seen this before, it looks like
No, I need to like explain because
Google
like
it
it looks like you take a fucking hot dog
and
then
put it in a microwave too long.
yeah, it does look like it's in and it goes like this. It looks like
why am I thinking of the sandworm from Beetlejuice? Like
and
you
no,
said,
no, it's not
No,
like
the sandworm looks better.
the sandworm does look better. It looks like if you cut a hot dog in half and threw it in the microwave because it curves weird. It turns into like a
I don't understand how it's usable.
I
After
don't
that,
know
but
what I'm
understand.
Googling
Can you
after
even
this.
do anything with it anymore? I've been so the other one is like I've so like man, I've spent I know too much. Like pubic piercings. I've always wondered are they practical because they're a surface piercing in a so I had my bridge for 4 years. I didn't scar that bad, just like
okay.
but if when you get a surface piercing, if you are not a very selective type, one day you're gonna have to kiss that buddy goodbye a lot of the time.
It also has a lot to do with the piercer.
Yes.
Do your research.
Yes. So I had mine for 4 years and then it started migrating too much. You know, it's on my face.
Yeah, your bridge is small. You have a small bridge. Like
Yeah.
I like if you would have came to me, I'd probably been like,
Yeah. I went to
I'd
Infinite.
have pinched you.
Yeah, they pinched me up. I had 3 people pinch me in a room. They had me. I was like, "Can I get do I have the anatomy to get my bridge pierced?" I had one person, they're like, second opinion, third opinion.
If you need that many opinions, the answer is probably no. And they're deciding if they want your money or not.
You not. They were like, you have just enough. I was like, okay, hell yeah. But I kept had it for a really long time.
But then there's different things you can do that I've learned. Like I had somebody that really wanted their bridge pierced, and I'm not saying this is the proper way. So all you other piercers out there, don't come at me.
Yeah.
I used a curved barbell.
Yeah.
And I flipped it. So it went like this. And that's what I pierced. That's the jewelry I put in. Worked for them. They still have it. And it worked. Like I feel like piercing, once you get to a certain point, like regular piercing, I'm not talking about heavy body mods. Once you get to a certain point in piercing, like you kind of understand anatomy a little more.
Yeah.
And I've since I've started, I've only been piercing like 2 years, but I've kind of made it my life, and I've read anatomy books and I've read books on piercing. I've watched thousands of hours of YouTube videos on different people and different styles, and but once you get to a certain point and you understand anatomy, you can start to almost like play with it. Like, oh, I've never pierced this, but I know what's going on. I know how to do it, and like it can be done. We can put back in the 90s, like the 90s was like the heyday of piercing. They were putting needles through everything.
Oh, dude. That's
People used to get their uvula pierced in the 90s. I still to this day can't.
I don't know how would you even do that? I remember I wanted my smiley done so bad. I wanted it done so bad, and then everybody told me it fucked up their teeth, and then
that's why I wanted it too, and everybody said, and the same thing with the Monroe.
I had mine. Yeah.
They're like, be careful because like it
can mess with your
teeth.
A Monroe done properly isn't gonna mess with your teeth.
Yeah, mine didn't fuck with my teeth.
As long as you get it above the gum line.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get it above your line. Like that's where a lot of people they screw up in a lot of lip piercings, and they don't go above the gum line or like where your teeth and then your gums are. And now a smiley, there's no way to get that above your gum line because there's only so much jewelry that you can have in there, and it's gonna dangle. Yeah. I recommend not getting it, but most people, they're going to lose it in a year anyway. It's going to fall out. It's going to reject because that little flap of skin is not going to hold jewelry for any amount of time.
But I remember the first time I saw surface piercings, I was like, That's crazy. I feel like in the early 2000s, there were a lot of piercings that
Mm.
it was also like the 90s where everybody was kind of like getting stuff. And um, I feel like with Instagram, there's the trends of like you see fluctuations and stuff, but I
Oh
also
yeah,
early 2000s that was relevant too because everybody wanted their hips pierced when I was a kid because
yeah.
we saw a couple of people on MySpace with their hips pierced
With their and then then dermals became a
and
thing,
then
and
dermals and then everybody wanted like the dermals here for a minute. Yep.
I kept getting the
that's still
dermal on my
pretty
chest,
popular.
and it like kept
Kept rejecting.
yes, I kept rejecting. So my piercer's like, listen, like I begged him. I was like, listen, I need it. Like I feel naked. So he put in like a big one, and I was doing really good with that one for a while. And then I decided to go boogie boarding. And it was like one of those days where like
I
the
can't believe
waves were going good. Well, it ended up that I looked like I had got like attacked by a shark by the time I got back to the hotel, and I'm crying on the phone with my piercer and my tattoo guy, like, oh my god, oh my god, like I think that's something. They're like, you have to work it out, or you're gonna have to come in. And I'm like, I'm down the shore, and they're like, just work it out very gently, like make sure you keep it clean. I got through it, but like I'll forever
yeah.
have a hole now.
I love that. I like doing dermal removals. That's a big favorite of mine. Not a lot of
Is
people
it
do them.
satisfying? Like
Oh, it's so satisfying. I'm in there and I'm just like, because it's a process and it takes a
yeah.
minute, and I'm like in there just working it out and trying not to leave a big scar. I try to get like as most of I can get it out of there. I mean, a scar is always going to happen with a dermal, no matter what it is.
This looks
Because
like nothing compared to the day that it ripped. Like
well,
I
I mean, a scar, as in like any kind, it's gonna look like a pock mark. Like people
Yeah.
ask me, like, how big's a scar? It should look like a pock mark if you get it removed.
yeah.
If you rip it out, it might be a little heavier, but
I when I my bridge when I find the day I took it out, I was like crying. I was like, it's weird because how
people
much.
get attached to that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, mine's a part of my face.
yeah.
I was like being like really extra about it. I was like, it's a part of my face, and
Well, you
everybody
get
was
used
like,
to wearing clothes that work around it and jewelry that
yeah.
work around it. I mean, when
I
I
mean,
had the dermal in the middle of my chest, I wasn't wearing like
That necklace.
elaborate like jewelry.
I get
So
it.
I
I couldn't wash
definitely
my
had
face
to
right.
change that.
I couldn't wash my face right. Like the day I got it out, though, I was like, I went like this with my eyes. I was like, oh, I'm so free though, because you can't rub your
Yeah,
top of your nose like that. I was like,
yeah.
yes,
It's piercings are crazy. I love it. I do recommend anybody that decides on a piercing, go to a professional,
yes,
do your research, and like talk to them. Like anatomy is a thing, and not everybody has the anatomy for every piercing. Industrials are like the number one things that like piercers are. I pick shit for piercers. All piercers that have been piercing for 20 years, and I get these people come in and I see it and I'm like, that is jacked. I had
yeah.
somebody come in with a flat piercing the other day, and it was like this, like through her ear, like it sat like this. I was like, there's a reason it's called a flat, because it's supposed to sit flat against your ear. and
That's
then
crazy.
I redid it for free because it
What
was
is the trend right now? Like, what are you seeing a lot of people come in and ask for?
septums.
It's been like that for a minute, right?
Yeah, dermals are starting to make a rise again.
That's cool.
I think with that whole, and that goes back to that whole Y2K, like that Y2K thing that's going on.
Yeah.
And then bring it back to 2000s. Then I feel like a lot of people are starting to get dermals again. Um,
You're probably gonna see the belly button rings with the Playboy. People want those again. I feel like.
I think they're getting there. I've been doing that's I have been doing a lot more teenage belly buttons this year, and whatever. But you want to know the weirdest one I ever did?
Yeah.
A Princess Albertina.
Oh, I know.
You know what that one is?
Yeah, I have some friends with that.
Jesse, can you explain?
It's like
I hate it.
yeah.
I mean, it was fun because it was like the one and only one I ever did. But It was very
I
interesting.
know
to do.
Prince Albert, but I don't know the rest of it.
Through your urethra,
like the
out your
equivalent.
out your vaginal canal. You can't see it. It's not
Yeah.
one you can see. It's an internal piercing.
I have so my best friend had a like a 4 steps and a ladder and a Prince Albert, and you can like yeah, you can I can put strings like I can put strings and make it dance. I'm like, we don't nobody needs to see that, but very cool that you can do. I'm sure some people in your life love that little trick that you know. Yeah,
I get a lot of people that call me about like
mhm.
piercings, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do them. Come
Yeah.
in, and they never show up.
I always
I'm not.
say that I don't know a body piercer hasn't pierced his own dick. That seems like my favorite. You haven't?
I'm not. No, I tattooed
Yeah.
mine.
Oh, you tattooed yours. See?
Mine's tattooed. It's not pierced.
You gotta know. What did you tattoo on it?
It's a cross.
Oh. Somebody told me tattooing a penis feels like tattooing bubble gum like earlier this week. And
I should rephrase that. I did not tattoo my own.
Yes.
I tattooed somebody else. Because it's like two people, one pulling tattoo and one stretching this way. And so it's a thing.
I have a friend with a tattoo penis, and he said that they gave him Viagra before.
Why?
I don't know. He had it done in the 90s.
Like, oh, that was probably in the beginning. Yeah,
he had it done in the 90s.
Yeah, you don't do that now.
Mm-hmm,
that's too much blood involved.
Like they stretch it out now, so it was like really. But yeah, I think he got his done in the 90s, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Like, did you get that? Well, I'm so curious. I have so many questions. Did you put that peel on it that you had to like peel off, or is there like a special like?
No, you heal. That's when you heal old school. You just keep
dry heal it. I won't put Sanoderm on anything, to be honest with you. It's fucked up. Oh my god.
See, to each their own. Like I put Sanoderm on everything unless I don't want it. Like it's just,
I am a straight
that
up
peel makes me nervous. Like
I pull it off.
I've only had a couple with the peel, but it makes me so nervous when I'm taking it off. I'm like, am I pulling something out of like the ink out?
If you don't do it properly, I mean, but you're not gonna pull the ink out. Like that's not even like a like.
I'm allergic.
Yeah, I just get nervous.
Being ADHD, allergic is
like,
one thing.
Like,
I'm allergic to it. So, and I found that out like the hard way. So I found that out the hard way. So I was like when you start getting welts around it, I got Sanoderm and I was getting welts around it, and what was happening?
If you're allergic to Band-Aids, do not use Sanoderm.
I'm not allergic to Band-Aids though.
Oh, you're a weird one.
Okay. Isn't that weird?
Well, if you are allergic to Band-Aids, you will be allergic to Sanoderm.
I just thought it was so weird. Somebody told me that there's different kinds, so I might not be allergic to. So all my tattoos are black and blue because I'm allergic to red.
So you're just a little allergic person.
Just a little, yeah. I got some weird stuff going on, but I really don't have problems as long as I don't use Sanoderm and I don't put red in it. And obviously, because I have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah. See, I have trouble with purple. So
purple, interesting. I know it's like it's usually red. Usually or like you can be allergic to like one certain brand of ink
and
nothing else.
Red's usually across the board though.
Really?
Red, if somebody's allergic to red, they're allergic to all the red.
That is good to know because somebody told me like recently, like one of my tattoo artists was just like, can we just do a red panel on you to see like
he just really wants to put red. I mean, you might find one. I'm just
like if
I'm generally speaking. Like,
and I was like, I don't know about that. I just want to.
There's science behind it because like you think about like, all right, think about kids and food and like think about foods and how many kids and people out there can't eat red food die. They're allergic to red food. Like it's the most common thing. So like. That, of course, will carry into the tattoo world where you are putting a red pigment into you, you know? So, like,
It's really interesting. Like my boyfriend has he's like covered in tattoos, but he has a orange tattoo, but he's covered in orange too. But only one orange he had an allergic reaction to because they put shellfish in it, and he's allergic to shellfish. And I was like, how would you even know that? Like that's
well, on the back end, on our end, like we get the paperwork. With the the SOPs of like what's in it, like, and I mean, I say we have it. I'm not saying that anybody really pays attention to it.
Yeah.
But they do. It is provided. Like,
I didn't realize that either. I was just like, that's crazy.
I mean, it's just like anything else you put in your body. Like there has to be like science backing it up. And if you're buying things, I know some artists are buying shit from China and Temu. I saw you can buy tattoo ink and shit on Temu now.
That's
and
really not.
Oh wow!
If that's a thing, don't do it. Don't let no. You better buy the good shit. If you're not getting it from a tattoo supply company,
$1 on Wish.
Probably don't use it. And the same thing with Amazon and piercing guns and piercing kits from Amazon. I want to punch Jeff Bezos in the mouth.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you. How do you feel about the DIY piercing kits?
I think you need to stop being a broke ass, lazy ass person and throw that gun in the freaking trash. I want you to think of something real quick. Sterilization. They say it comes sterilized. How do you sterilize metal? How do you sterilize metal?
It's got to be heated.
You do it in an autoclave.
Yeah.
All right. Use an autoclave or something similar. All right. And it needs to be heated to at least 134 degrees Celsius for a given amount of time. 134 degrees Celsius is what? I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. What does plastic melt at?
Oh man, it doesn't take much to get plastic to melt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How the hell are you sterilizing these little clicker guns? How?
You can't.
Yeah.
I guess they're spraying alcohol on it. But like,
yeah, because that's great.
Are
you on an iPhone
right now?
Yeah.
Not currently.
You keep getting the little thumb. I
don't know. It keeps giving me the thumbs up. I'm just scratching my tattoo.
It just randomly does that if it likes what you say.
If I had control of that, it would like everything I'm saying, so I could have a little ego boost.
Remember the one guest said something and it gave them like fireworks.
Yeah, I don't know what it did. It just like has a mind of its own.
You know what's funny? The other day, like I have 2 tattoos that I got 10, 15 years ago, and they were with that blacklight ink. Do you know they still light up? I was like,
really?
Oh, shit.
I had no experience with it. I was told it was a fad and I never got into it. So
no, my boyfriend has a giant blacklight tattoo and it's on his ass.
Does it still light up?
It lights up. It lights up like Christmas lights, but it's it's like the most grotesque tattoo I've ever seen in my life, and I wish it didn't light up. So like he's like, so aren't you lucky it's on my ass? It's like horrible. It's horrible, Allie. I'll send it to you. It's so graphic. It's a guy fucking a pumpkin. And I'm like, why did you get that? And he's like, I love Halloween. And I'm like, oh.
It's freaking bats.
It's freaking
bad. Oh my god. Like now I'm gonna see that whenever I see Frank.
It's on, you can't see it IRL, it's on his ass. Like, but I will send you, there's a picture of it. I'll send it to you. It's like really bad.
No, I just got the word one like in these cool letters.
That's
with
cool.
One of my girlfriends. That, you know, the one love, that was cool back in the day. Yeah, and I got the black light around it. So yeah, I was so surprised it was still lighting up. I was like, oh wow. I mean, I did go with the yellow, which was supposed to like be the brightest, but yeah.
I would
That's
get
dope,
it,
though.
but it would probably make me itch like everything else.
I don't even remember because at that time I was like getting tattoos like candy. I'm like, oh, you do tattoos? Oh, sure, I'll get that little one. I'll get that little one.
I love your kind.
Yeah.
I got a girl that's on a kick right now. I've done like 4 tattoos on her, and she just keeps coming back. I'm like, hell yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
hell yeah.
And I'm like that kind, like I can sit there for hours. Like however long I need to sit there to get it done, like I'll sit there and won't move.
see, I
I'm
can't do it.
good.
I can't
I
do
can't do
that.
it.
Tattoos fucking hurt. I'm not here. Some of my friends are like, I fell asleep through that.
All right. I got a question for y'all.
Non-verbal. Well, yeah.
What's your thoughts on your numbing cream? What's thoughts on numbing cream?
Never use. Oh, I used it one time. I got a 6-hour tattoo. At 5 hours, I was like sweating. So he sprayed. He did the spray on me, and I never got it because I used to have panic attacks in the dentist when they would put the Orajel on me, and it would make my tongue numb. So I won't use the numbing spray because it I associate the numb feeling with being at the dentist. So it will give me a panic attack if I go numb.
Okay.
So
I didn't even know about the numbing stuff till like the last couple that I got done, and I was like, you know what? Like the other ones weren't bad, so I'm just gonna do it.
I look at it this way. I am tattooed. I'm heavily tattooed head to toe. I've put my work in. I use it every time now. I don't give a shit.
I will use it. I think I'm gonna try to use it. I want to my next piece. We got dual sleeves over here.
Yeah.
So my next piece that I want is stomach, and your stomach. I have my stomach. Your stomach's so bad. It's like transcending that.
I did that without cream.
Yeah, a lot of people have, and they told me to get the cream, and I'm like thinking
about. Now you have to remember this is how you do it. The cream, a lot of people try and just rub it on and go to tattoo art or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to put it on, lather it on, get it on thick, and then wrap your stomach in cellophane.
Yeah.
About an hour and a half prior to your appointment. Yeah. It's important. Because otherwise, it's not going to work. And you'll be like, it doesn't even work. No, you have to do it properly.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it for my stomach, but because I have part of my stomach done, it was horrible. And I want a really big stomach piece on the rest of it, but it is the fear of fear of being numb thing that I have that I've seen. I lived in braces as a kid.
I don't think it really makes you. It doesn't really make you numb.
No.
It just takes the edge off of of the tattoo.
I'd probably use it if I got my chest.
I recommend.
Your chest isn't that bad. Like it, in my opinion, I'm blasted like the armpit to armpit to like whatever. It's really not. Yeah, it's not that bad.
I hated it.
How'd that feel in the armpit?
Into the armpit? Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the worst part.
That line
in here, and the closer into your mine ends here is like that doesn't.
Yeah, mine's down further. Mine goes like down to here.
It's
and then my stomach starts.
This isn't that bad. It's your under boob, and I don't have that done because everybody apparently that is 100 times worse than this.
And that sucks because there's so many cute ones. Like I see cute ones all the time, and I'm like, oh man, I really like that, but yeah I don't know.
My neck. I got the neck too's interesting because it's like kind of the same. Your sides bad.
You said the sides are bad?
They don't hurt at all. It's the middle that hurts. The middle hurts like hell, but the sides
only tattoo I tapped out on.
Yeah.
Only one. But my worst was this guy. My cheetah spots.
Yeah.
I was trying to crawl off the table, man.
I
wanted to go so bad. Like I was like, but I was dealing with a lot that day. It was right. My partner tried to commit suicide in my driveway the night before, and I was like, I need to vacate for a while mentally, and that's what I did. So
I think my worst tattoo, my hands weren't even that bad. Honestly, like my fingers, it is absolutely the worst tattoo that I was sweating during was my lower back. Is because the lower on the back you go, the more painful it is. And that was like the one, like my palms are sweating. Like I was like, I need to go nonverbal. And then,
Me too. Did
yeah,
you eat beforehand? Because I didn't eat. I got it done in the morning, and I didn't eat like a full meal.
I
Like I just
ate.
had like I just had like something small that I had picked up on the way. But man, lower back, I almost passed out. Like, and
I
I was good with the rest of mine.
I ate, but my lower back piece is like, my lower back, like people, I'm like, I have a tramp stamp. And people are like, girl, that is not a tramp stamp. That is a fucking ginormous lower back tattoo. And that's why I got it too big. And now I'm like, I don't think I can get a back, I can't get like a back piece. It's like big, like, like, but I think I just went too big with it. Like I got like I have a giant heartogram. Like the Vil Vallo crotch tattoo?
I know
Like
what a heartogram is.
you like the Vallo, like the singer
I
him. I
think
got like a giant
yeah.
I got a giant one on my back and it goes like halfway up my back and I just went really big with it.
The
But
little lasers are a thing.
I
Always say
know.
at the
I
time.
actually love it. I actually love it. Like it looks really good, but sometimes I'm like I would like it would cut like a back piece in half. A lot of my friends have full back pieces, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, those are cool, but we can't do that. But lower back's really bad, and I heard it's the lower you go on it, the worse it feels. Is what
Yeah, because your ass cheeks kind of suck.
I believe that.
I got signatures on my ass cheeks.
That's fun.
Bunch of people I worked with when I was in the sex world.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
How many tattoos would you say that you have?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like 75% covered. So that's how I say it now, because like things should just be kind of like things are starting to meld together. My legs are starting to meld together, and how do you count each piece? You know. But yeah, I got some chunks on my thighs that need done, and my back needs finished. I haven't started, and I started it 3 years ago now. Just never went back. I was like, shit. But
Well,
it is
since
what
we
it is.
totally lost track of time and I told you this would be about an hour and we're like way past that. If people are trying to book with you for tattoos or piercing, where do you want them to go?
Oh, that's a good question. You can go on a vivid_body art on Instagram and you can book there. There's that, or you can message me. There's a link in that bio. But by the end of this show, by the time this show is on and it's live, you can go to bobbyvivid.com and there'll be a link there, because that I'm gonna do it as soon as I hang up the phone here. Or not the phone. As soon as I
Yay, we're
click off,
motivating you.
well, because I keep forgetting to put it. I need to put it on bobbyvivid.com, but I keep forgetting. So, but bobbyvivid.com, you can find all of the Instagram links, all of the links, all of the links.
Yeah, we have them going at the bottom.
Yeah, those are those ones. There's more. I have a lot of
Well,
links.
thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us. It was
Thanks
so
for
much
having
fun.
me. I enjoy doing this. I want to do more of them in the future. So,
We'll definitely have you back on.
yeah, keep up. We'll talk about what's
And
happening.
definitely stay in touch
Come
with
back
us.
when
If
I
you
get
guys,
this
if you're
book done.
doing anything fun that you want put out on social media, we'll be your hype girls.
Wow, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's really cool.
Thank you so
And
much.
I like you
And
guys'
I will
vibe.
make sure
So,
to send you over the link as soon as it airs. And
send me the link.
again,
Send me
thank
some
you so
clips.
much.
We will.
Send me some clips too.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Well,
Bye.
see y'all later.
Oh, so fun. I can't I don't I didn't even know like half of those names of the piercings. Like what's this one called?
Oh, this is your bridge.
Okay.
That's your bridge. I loved it. R.I.P. If you go back on my Instagram, you can see some lovely photos of me with it for about 3 years, and it was my favorite. But now, now I'm like, I don't know what else I should get. I think I'm all right with my septum. Honestly, it's so overcompassing, but we'll see. You might see me with something new one day.
Yeah,
Who
you
knows?
can always shoot towards a bigger nose ring with spacers.
I know. I could. Um, it's just like the bigger you go, the more expensive your jewelry is. And if I lose my nose ring, and some people are like, "How could you lose that
Like
thing?"
a small fortune.
Oh, it is a small portion. It's like $200 for me to get a new nose ring, and sometimes the balls fall out, and then it slips down the shower. That's happened 3 times to me.
I ended up with my eyebrow because I kept losing them because especially like when I do cosplay because I'll like be changing and I won't be paying attention. I kept losing them. I ended up getting all of the ones that I got. I ended up getting like they're like extra long screws.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it does not. I haven't had any problems with
That's
the new
awesome.
ones since I bought the like longer screws.
That's awesome. Yay! I love that though. I love that for
Yeah, I
you.
used to lose them all the time. I'd be
Yeah.
like walking around, I'm like, wait a minute, like it's not there.
Well,
But okay, well, I have kept everybody on for way long.
well, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Sorry to our editor. We're putting him into overtime recently. But we love you, Dennis.
Love you, Dennis.
We
And we
appreciate
will see
you.
everybody next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.